Good evening and welcome to this new service that we're just trying out for this evening to see how it strikes people, whether it's helpful. It's a mindfulness-based service, and it's just going to be 15 minutes. In fact, I'm going to start a timer right now so that we stay to our goal of 15 minutes. And let's get going. So a couple quick things about mindfulness before we get started, and that is that we're not trying to empty our mind by practicing mindfulness. Instead, what we're trying to do is gently focus our attention on the things that we want to focus our attention on. For example, our breathing, or the senses, the experience that we have in our body, or our thoughts, or maybe, for example, the sounds that we can hear around us. So I say this because it's the end of a busy day. People have maybe had very hectic days, and you're going to find that your mind wanders, and that is okay. When that happens, just gently bring it back to whatever it is that we're trying to gently focus on at that point. To get started, what you'll want to do is you will want to find a chair, a comfortable chair to sit in, maybe one that's not super comfortable, like an overstuffed armchair or something like that, but something where you can sit up straight. And in that chair, you're going to want to straighten your back, not in a tense way, but in a way so that it's easy for you to breathe. You're going to want to drop your shoulders, and as somebody once said to me when I was learning how to practice mindfulness, you're going to want to relax your jaw by keeping your lips together but your teeth apart. In addition to sort of the shoulders and the jaw, you're also going to want to make sure that your hands are relaxed. Just place them comfortably on your lap, for example. And then finally, if your instinct is to cross your legs, try during this mindfulness practice to keep them uncrossed and to have your feet planted, gently but solidly on the ground. So what we'll do is we're going to begin with just a simple breathing exercise. So what you are going to do is you're going to close your eyes now, and you're going to begin breathing. If possible, breathe through your nose, but if your allergies are bothering you and you can't do that right now, just breathe through your mouth, whatever's comfortable. And we're going to begin with just some slow breathing, just inhaling in, and then just breathing out. Inhaling in and breathing out. And just take about 30 seconds or so to just focus on just breathing softly, gently in and deeply in and out. Just do that for a little bit. Just breathe in and breathe out. And then when you feel as if you're ready to try this experiment I'm going to have you do, just find your pulse on your wrist. Keep your eyes closed. Find your pulse on your wrist and breathe in and out while noticing the speed of your pulse. So for example, you want to take a deep breath in, and then you want to let it all out. And another deep breath in. And also let that out totally. And what you may have noticed while you were taking your pulse, while breathing like this, is that when you breathe in, your pulse naturally quickens a little bit. And when you breathe out, it slows down. So one of the lessons we learn in mindfulness is if you ever feel panicky or like you're beginning to hyperventilate, don't just breathe in. Also remember to breathe out. It's breathing out that really slows the heart down. So for example, when people say, just take a deep breath, remember also to breathe out that deep breath and allow that exhale to slow and calm your heart down. So let's go back again to just this simple breathing exercise. Just take another couple breaths in and also out. And now as you're doing this, I want you to start focusing on various aspects of your breath. For example, if you're breathing through your nose, focus on that experience of the air entering in through your nostrils and sort of traveling through your nose, up your nose, and then down into your chest. Just follow it as it takes that journey. If you're breathing through your mouth, you might want to focus on the feeling of the air passing over your lips, for example. And again, just that rise and fall of the chest. Again, if you find your mind drifting away from focusing on your breath, just thank your mind for being so active on your behalf and just gently bring your focus back to your breathing. Another thing you might want to focus on while you're breathing is just the movement of your diaphragm in and out as you breathe in and then back, or as you bring in, as it moves out while you breathe in, and then as it moves back when you breathe out. You might even want to just gently place your hand on your abdomen to just feel that outward and inward motion. Now what we're going to do, when you feel ready to do it, that is we're going to just listen to, keeping our eyes closed, we're going to listen to the sounds that are around us, sounds in our environment. If you're in a home right now, there may be the sounds of an air conditioning unit or some sort of mechanical sound in the background, a fan, for example. You may hear people, if you're in an apartment building, you may hear people walking in the hall outside or people talking somewhere in the building, and you can just hear sort of lightly the murmur of their voices. If you're near a busy road, you might hear cars coming and going. Whatever it is, just try to identify a sound that's in your environment right now. And let's just spend a couple of minutes just focusing on that sound. And maybe if you're able, see if you can discover a second sound in your environment and just draw your attention and your focus gently to that sound. And just see if you can sort of hold your attention on that second sound for a moment. Remember, if you find your attention drifting, just thank the mind for being, again, so active on your behalf, and just draw the mind back to whatever it is that you're trying to listen to or to focus upon. And now choose either that first or second sound and listen to it this time, and do this thing that I like to describe as parsing the sound. And that is, see if there are individual elements of that sound that you're able to pick up on. Sometimes, for example, when we're listening to a fan, we can hear, sort of different frequencies within the hum, for example. Or for example, if you are listening to cars pass, try to sort of hear the sound of the car coming and going, and just the different sort of experience of that car sound moving through time by your house. If you've got somebody talking somewhere, maybe a TV on or a person speaking somewhere where you can hear them, maybe just focus on the different parts of the sounds of their voice, the low parts, the high parts. Just see what you can notice about that sound. And now we're going to add in another layer, and that is we're going to do a very sort of, not a complete body scan, but just an exercise where we scan parts of our body just to get a sense for what they feel like right now as we're sitting doing this mindfulness practice. So I want you to begin by bringing your attention to your feet, which, as I said, if you kind of plant them on the ground, firmly but gently. And if you're wearing shoes, just feel what it feels like to have your toes in those shoes. Where does the shoe sort of encounter the toe and vice versa? If you're wearing sandals, you might search for the sensation of the straps, for example, between your toes or over the bridge of your foot. And then ask yourself if you feel a little tingling sensation when you sense the bottom of your foot as it's sort of coming into contact with the ground. Are there parts of the foot that are more in contact with the ground than other parts? For example, your heel as opposed to your arch. Just sort of explore that terrain of the bottom of your foot for a moment. Now let's shift our attention to our hands as they're lying either flat or folded on our lap. And do sort of the same thing here. Just first search out the points of contact between your hands and your lap. For example, your hands, one hand and the other. And just notice what parts of the hand are pressed against another surface. Again, if your focus drifts from your hands, then just gently bring it back. You may notice again, like as with your feet, a little bit of a tingling sensation in your fingers or in your palms. Just take a moment to focus on those sensations. And keep breathing while you're doing this. In through the nose and out. Now let's bring our attention to our breathing again. We're almost done with our practice here. In the final moments of our practice, let's just bring that attention back to the breathing. Take nice deep breaths. Blow it out. Try to hone in on some part of the breath like we were doing before. Maybe the air as it comes in through your nostrils or, crosses over your lips. Drop your shoulders. Keep your jaw loose. Relax your toes, relax your fingers. Keep breathing. And there we go. So just take another couple deep breaths. Whew. And slowly open your eyes. So the one tip that I want to leave you with today, good job by the way, and thank you for joining me doing this. The one tip I want to leave you with today is something that I call teeth, shoulders, hands. And what I mean by that is that when I find myself getting really tense, I'll just do a really quick scan of those areas of my body. And if I notice any feelings of tension in them, I'll just release those. So for example, I'll check out my shoulders to see if they're up tight, and I'll just gently bring them down. If I've got my hands in fists, for example, or if I'm, doing something with them where they're tense, they're angry hands, then I'll just make sure that I relax them. And then finally, I'll think about my teeth as a way of sort of thinking about what's going on with my jaw. Am I clenching my teeth? If so, then I'm going to use the the concept that I introduced to you earlier, and that is lips together, teeth apart, and just really release the tension in your jaw. Again, thank you for joining me during this brief mindfulness thing. It was actually pretty relaxing for me to even lead it. I hope it was helpful to you, and I wish everybody a safe, healthy, and restful night, both as you spend it with friends, family, or on your own this evening, and then also a really good night's sleep. See you back here again soon.